Welcome back to Etc. Podcast. I'm your host, Victor, along with my co-host, Mark.
Yo, yo, yo,
How you doing,
yo.
sir?
I'm doing great. I told you earlier though that like work defeated me today again. This is the second time.
Tell us about it.
Man, it was just busy. That was really all it was. I mean, like I earlier in the day, so I'm just kind of make it easier. So basically till 3 o'clock, it was like a pretty chill day. It was kind of busy, but I wasn't like upset about it. I was like, it's Friday, understandable. Bro,
Cinco de Mayo.
yeah. After 3, oh my god, I swear everybody like, I swear every other bank just closed down and we were the only ones that was open because I swear there was just nonstop. Like, I mean to tell you, I didn't get up from well, I mean, I did. I just stood up sometimes, but from my spot, I did not move for literally 3.5 hours straight. I was just literally there taking people, and I was just so drained. Like, yeah, it was annoying. And then to top it off, there was just one guy who literally I don't know what it was. I don't know what he was going through or if it was me, but he just had it out. And it was so weird. So, like, everybody has an account number. This isn't,
If you
something
got a bank,
new.
you got a
You
account
got a
number.
bank, you got a account number. So I just asked him for that, John. And he looked at me with the craziest look. Like I asked him, like, what was his address?
hmm
What was his like date of birth? What hospital was he born in? Who's his friend? Like he looked so confused and literally looked at me like I was just like crazy. And I was just like, dude, do you have that? And he looked at me and he was just like, he like didn't have it. So I'm like, okay, because I mean, like, that's what we need. If you want me to do anything for you, I need that. So we were able to look it up through his like social too. So I did that. So I asked him, I was like, so do you have that? And I told him like what he can do is he can write it down for me and I can go put it in. And when I did that again, it made it seem like I asked him if he could write down like
If you could
some
have his firstborn child.
yeah, and oh my god, like he literally because I gave him a sticky note to do it on, and he literally took that thing and just looked in like so much disgust. And he had like he took it to him and he grabbed the pen that he to write it with, and he just banged on the table like he was just like and just like banged on it. It was just like so annoyed that I asked him for that. And mind you, I did nothing to this man. I literally was just trying to be the most like I wasn't trying to say like I was super friendly, like super enthusiastic, but I was just like, okay, can you your account number? Just trying to get through it. And he just looked at me like I was like doing something wrong to him. Like I was holding his like child captive, like or something. Like he was just fed up with me and he was just so annoyed. And so then after everything was done and I did what he needed to do, I give him his receipt and he's walking off and he literally just as he's walking, he just like goes away. And he's just like he looks at it and he's just like and he just walks off. Bro. Yo, I was so confused.
What did you give him? His balance?
Yeah, I guess so, bro. He was
He
so
looked at his
annoyed.
balance like, fuck,
Like, yo, I
I'm
don't know.
still broke.
like, yo, I was so confused. Like, just with the idea that I know I didn't do anything, but just do my job. I was so confused. Like, what happened? Like, did I say something wrong? Was it just the way I look? Like, I don't know what it was. But like then some of my coworkers looked at my one the one to like where he was walking towards the door, and there was my one coworker to my right. So she like saw and heard him, and she was just like, "What happened?" I was like, "I don't know." Like, like I just did my job, and this man wanted to like fight somebody.
You know what? This sounds like a Drake and Josh interaction. Like you know how they, like, you know how they just have those meet those weird ass people in the show for whatever reason.
Yeah,
Josh would be like, okay, like,
yeah, true, true, true. I always thinking that one episode Drake and Josh where the mailman comes, he's just like, "Oh, thanks, have a good day." He's like, "Don't
don't
tell
tell
me
me
what
what
to
to
do."
do. It's literally like shit like that.
Like,
Like,
and I was just so confused. Like, he just started, like, he just kind of like grunted with so much anger, and I was like, "What happened?" Like, I was so confused. After that, again, it just kept going through the day. Like, at that point, it was like probably like 5 or something, but I just went through the day and I was just like, bro, today has to end. Like, I don't know what it is in the air. Single day mile is just going crazy, bro. But yeah, that was just my day. As far as the rest of the week, I mean, hey, look, it's been regular,
yeah.
but how have you been?
I've been chilling, man. Shit's been good. It's been hella quiet just cause like I had got my car fixed over the weekend, got it back, then I took it back to like fix some certain things on it, just like so I
Got you,
can be
got you.
sure that everything's cool. I was just like, it just got into a little situation. I don't want to like drive somewhere far and come to find out some shit's wrong with this. So I was like, let me check that out because I had the
Gotcha.
past 2 days off. So I checked that out. Now I'm chilling and I go back to work tomorrow. But it is what it is. I don't,
Great.
you know what? After like the previous week, I think I was cool with having a quiet week this time. After my final destination moment and then getting into a car accident like 3 days after that. So yeah, not much over here. But um, unless you have something you want to talk about or you have something that's been bugging you, you got these articles and stories that I really wanted to bring up because they're just hella outrageous. And I don't know what's going on in Europe, but if you got something you want to put out to the table, you speak now or forever hold
Speak
your
now.
peace.
No, nah, everything's been chilling. We've been watching Demon Slayer. That's been pretty lit,
Oh
so
yeah, we've been
far.
watching it together like a
Yeah,
family.
yeah, family, so that's been good. And other than that, yeah, it's just been chilling.
If
So
y'all want to join the Discord calls, let us know. We hold them every Sunday at 5 o'clock. I'll charge $5 a pop since it's my Crunchyroll account.
right, right.
It's my screen that's being recorded. All right, so
True.
the proceeds will go to my account, no one else's.
Yeah.
If you're
So yeah, let's get into these articles.
Yeah, have you had a chance to read them?
I read some of them. Yeah, the very first one I was very lost because it was very in depth. Mainly talking about the one with the body parts.
Yeah.
That one was like a really long article. I was trying to like keep up, but it kept just going on. I'm like, geez.
So basically, there's a woman in Arkansas, or I would just read the headline, then we'll get into the story. Arkansas woman pleads not guilty to selling over 20 boxes of stolen human body parts.
That's wild. Like, how do you even get away with that?
So what it sounds like, or what it is, so the woman's name is Candace Chapman Scott, a 36-year-old woman who was a former mortuary services worker, which basically she works like in a morgue and shit like that. It's like, dealing with dead bodies, embalming, all that type of shit. Yeah. So she sold $11,000 worth of stolen dead body parts to a man in Pennsylvania. Ha, shout out. Yeah, so she was charged with 12 counts of mail fraud, wire fraud, and interstate transportation of stolen property. And yeah, basically the overall overarching story is that this woman worked in a mortuary and she knew where like dead body parts were. So when these bodies would come in, obviously they would do what they have to do to, whether it's for, I believe that these in particular were for research. So studying brains or studying heart, lungs, all that shit, or just how stuff certain reacts. So they will prep the bodies for that. But I'm assuming, or at least what the article was giving off, is that certain body parts just wouldn't be used in that case because if they needed brains, they would use the brains, heart, stuff like that. But then there are obviously other body parts that they aren't testing. A lot of times you think about the heart, lungs, major organs, livers, kidneys. So the rest of it, she would just kind of sell it or like take stuff that wouldn't be noticed that were gone and sell it on Facebook in a group and be like, oh, like these are like sourced by me, like it's fucking like
The dark web.
not even that. It's just like it's like she's selling like pork chops and shit. Like it's like, yeah, grass fed, found out back, shit like that. So I guess this one guy was just really like with it, and he bought like skulls and hands and shit and brains, and yeah, she made about $11,000 off of this one guy. But I think so. What it said is like the reason that this even came out is that her neighbor found like buckets or like bins of those body parts like in his basement. And when I read that, I immediately was like, yo, imagine you going to your neighbor's crib, like somebody you like, high and by with every day. And you're like, oh, can you help me out with something in the basement? I need help moving something out. And you see brains and body parts and shit in there. Do you not immediately want to sprint out of there? Like, how do you see that and not overreact in that moment? Because you've seen movies, bro. Like you see something you're not supposed to see, you overreact. They step in front of the door, like, where are you going?
Right, I was about to say that. What I can imagine is that I turn around after seeing that and they're just like, well.
Sometimes you just stick your face where you're not supposed to, buddy. And
come on, Jerry.
They just lock the door up. It's like, everything that I asked for is just a little bit of privacy. And I can't even have that. And now I can't let you leave. And you're going to join the bins, Jared.
It's like, all I need is for everybody to just mind their business. And I just live my life. Is that too much to ask? He's like, no. Right? Oh, man.
It's the same thing that happened to Carol. Carol? Yeah, from down the street. You know what
Yeah.
happened to Carol? It wasn't a car accident, Billy.
It wasn't a car
It was
accident.
me.
It was me.
Just go into a whole like Joker moment.
Right, man.
It's like I told Carol, you mind your business and nobody gets hurt.
I told her, just don't come into my house. Don't say hi. You know, once I go in, that's it. It's my business.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what would happen if you overreact. So you got to be like, oh yeah, like, uh, did you like find the hammer that I sent you to look for? It's like, yeah, I found it. Be right there.
Yeah, found it. It was very hammer like. It's
Yeah.
like, okay.
And then you got to leave there, and then supposedly like it was like an anonymous tip told the police like, oh, they found such and such in this, and then I guess they like checked his search histories or something, and then traced it back to that woman in Arkansas or whatever.
Wait, who?
Like the police, like because the
They
neighbor
traced who?
the neighbor gave a tip to the police.
Yes.
The neighbor told them their name, who it is, where he lives. So I guess they raided that guy's house, and then just traced,
Oh,
did some
okay.
detective work,
I got it now.
traced it back
My
to
fault.
where they bought it from.
I had thought that you were saying the girl was the neighbor
No, the girl's the woman that was selling the body parts.
who she sold it to
Is
was
a
the person.
guy, and
Gotcha.
then yeah, so she sold them to him, shipped them to him. Neighbor saw to the shit in his crib,
Gotcha.
and he snitched.
Yeah.
He's a rat. So now,
Imagine,
a man,
imagine your neighbors.
if I have $11,000, I should be able to spend how I want to. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, so she got in trouble, and I believe she got like 9 years or something like that in prison, which honestly, it's not enough for me. Imagine you found out like your family member just got sold off on Facebook because they decided to like donate their body to science.
Oh yeah.
She made $11,000 in 16 separate PayPal transfers. Imagine what the notes are on those PayPal things. Like when
True.
you Venmo somebody, it's just
You
like
can put the
for
emoji,
dinner. It's
right?
like
Imagine,
for kidneys.
right?
Kidney emoji.
Right.
That's what
I'm
those emojis
saying.
are for. Nobody normally uses those emojis for those people.
True. True.
Yeah, shit is wild. And then there's 3 more, and honestly, I'm surprised that they kept going like progressively worse as time passed. So like we're just gonna run through these because like shit is getting wild in Europe. This next one, I don't know if you read about this one, Mark. Said a woman gets 21 years in prison for trying to kill her doppelganger with poisoned cheesecake.
I ain't gonna lie. When I saw that, I was like, I kind of laughed because I just thought about the episode of How I Met Your Mother, and there was like that one episode there was a doppelganger, and I just found it like kind of interesting to think about. Like, you really went because I mean I'm trying to remember what the article said. Did they go on like a dinner, and then when it happened, or was it more
No,
like just like something they like?
they were just like at each other's crib. Like one of
Okay,
them like went to the other person's house. Was like, "Oh, you want some cheesecake?"
and that's what I'm
And then she
saying.
was
Like,
like, "Sensational."
yeah, you see, and I'm just thinking about the same thing where it's just like you see your doppelganger, you're just like, come on, just have some cheesecake. You're like,
Yeah.
no, I had a little bit too much today. It's like, but let's have it,
Please have another sacrifice. You know
right,
that
right,
that thing
yeah,
with Julian?
yeah.
It's like,
Can you
please, please
right?
have another
He was
sacrifice.
like, no, I'm too full.
Please, you gotta be offended if you don't have another sacrifice. Please take it.
He was just like, stop, I am full. It just gets so deep.
But yeah, so basically, this Russian woman living in New York City, she was sentenced to 21 years for poisoning her similar-looking friend with a sedative-laced cheesecake. Victoria Nasarova, 47 of years old, of attempted murder, assault, and other charges in February. She's a con artist who went to prison for a long time, trying to murder her way to personal profit and gain. So basically, she tried to kill her doppelganger to like basically get all her money and like just
Gotcha.
scam people out of it. So yeah, so she has like a history of mental illness and stuff, but she went over her house. There's actually an old article, not old article, but old thing. I guess she just got sentenced for it. It was August 28th, 2016 when everything
Yeah.
happened. But they were close in age, both similar looking. The lady Nasarova, she ate 2 pieces of cheesecake. A little wild. Nasarova need to chill the fuck out. And she offered a third slice to
That was a third slice.
Svik, the other lady that's the doppelganger. So she ate 2 to be like, yo, like this cheesecake mad good. It's safe.
I ate 2.
You could have at least 1.
I cannot eat a third slice.
Please,
You know
before it goes
me.
bad, have it.
Have it, please. I insist.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no.
So I guess she was like, "Oh, please have another sacrifice." And she was like,
Exactly.
"No, no, I
No,
cannot, I
no,
cannot."
I
And then she
cannot.
took the sacrifice, she
And
ate
then
a
she
bite.
sacrificed.
Yeah, she ate a bite, and then supposedly, like, immediately she just, like, didn't feel well and, like, was in and out of consciousness and, like, throwing up,
Yeah.
and then all she remembers is seeing basically like any horror movie when you get knocked out by somebody, you just see them, like, walking around the apartment and shit, just, like, dragging you across the room and, like, tying you up or
What are you
whatever.
doing? What's going on?
I just wanna take some pictures. But, but yeah, but the lady survived.
Really? I
Yeah.
didn't see that.
So, that's how she got caught, basically. So
Oh, okay.
she survived, and that's how she was able to tell them, like, last thing I remember is just seeing her walk around the
So I
apartment.
remember she was trying to, at least I read it right. She was trying to like plant like pills and stuff to make it seem like I think that she like committed like a
Yeah,
suicide.
so that's basically the horror movie type shit where she, like, poisoned her, she passed out and threw up, but then she dragged her to her bed, left her there with, like, a thing full of pills, made it seem like she, unalived herself. Um, and that's kinda like where it was like, "Bullshit, I'm alive, haha, trick's on you. You gotta do yeah, I ain't take 2 slices, I only had 1."
No
Um,
sacrifice.
I told you I didn't have another sacrifice. Um, so yeah, so she went to the police and, like, basically got her arrested and showed all the proof 'cause, she woke up and, like, a lot of her jewelry was missing and, like,
Yeah,
Social
yeah, yeah.
Security and, like, a lot of, like, important documents that would basically she'd be able to say is her because, if they look similar, she can pull up an ID like, "Look, it's me. I have my Social too and my deed to my house," like,
Yeah.
but turns out the reason that woman was even in the US is because she was on the run in Russia because she was convicted of murder in 2014, and she was on the run of her sentence in Russia, and she was in the US. So she gonna serve her sentence and then get sent back to Russia for her other shit.
Bro, who is this Black Widow? Like
Yeah, bro, she was like a whole con artist and shit. So
what I remember reading also was that some people said that the judge was being a little too harsh on her sentence. I'm like, bro, what? This woman really
tried to ruin her life.
tried to ruin her life, poisoned her, and like did all this. You mean to tell me that like the judge was being harsh, bro?
Yeah.
That she's getting life if it was me.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, literally, she was about to kill somebody.
exactly.
The only reason that she got lucky that she's alive. It's not that she was
Is
like she
exactly at the end
intended
of
on
the
killing her.
day, like that's what she wanted to do. That's what she
Yeah.
was hoping for. So shouldn't that be looked at as like, okay, she tried to kill somebody? So in my head, I'm just like, yo, like I'm sending her for life, and I'm telling the other woman, like, look, you don't gotta worry about
Mm,
doppelganger because now you're the only one because she
yeah.
ain't getting out.
Well, the only thing about this whole article that made me laugh besides the cheesecake is the last sentence. I don't know if you read it,
I
but
didn't.
it was just like before she got taken away to go get
I
arrested.
heard that she cursed, but I didn't see like anything else.
Oh, she went to Rikers. That's wild. But after all that stuff and they tried to take her away, the last thing she was like, and I'm gonna say it in a Russian. I read it in a Russian accent, so I'm gonna say it. She's like, "I am not killer. I'm woman, only woman."
That was
So it's
perfect.
basically Black Widow or like some spy type shit.
I am not killer.
I am woman, only
I am
woman.
woman, Mother Russia.
Zarya from
Exactly.
Overwatch.
I am Mother Russia.
I am woman, only woman. Long live Sen. But yeah, in other news in Russia, I mean not in Russia, in Europe, there was I don't know if you read this one. There was a Germany man who got rescued in the woods after a sex game goes awry. Do you know how to spell awry?
No.
It's AWRY.
Wow. See?
Now, I always knew how to spell it, but I didn't know that word, like when I would always read it, I didn't know that you pronounce that awry. Or like I knew what the word was. Like I would always use it properly in a sentence. But when I say I would always say like Ari. Cause I'm just like, what the
Yeah,
fuck is
I
this?
was like, what?
English makes no sense, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's awry. Um, but yeah, supposedly, there was a 51-year-old man who was left tied up in the woods in Germany. This guy met a woman online, I guess, and I guess they was into some freaky deaky, ring a ding a dark and shit. And
Ding and darn.
so they linked up, and I guess she was into like tying people up, BDSM type stuff. And to each their own, not king shaming, but it's kind of wild to like meet somebody online and jump straight to that. You know what I mean? You might want to like
True.
go see a
Like,
movie, grab dinner a couple
and then we go
times.
to the woods where there's no other people around for us to
Yeah,
hear.
and like, what was the intent here? Like, like was he gonna like whip him or something? Like, what is like,
I guess like
why did it have to be in the woods? Why can't you just tie each other up in the bedroom?
See, and I don't want to get too explicit because I feel like that's what I want. But like maybe they were like, "Oh yes," and then no one can hear you scream, so that way you can scream as loud as you want.
I
That's
guess.
a little weird. I know, but again, we ain't king shaming. It's just
Yeah.
like that's probably what it was getting towards, like us being our own isolated bubble, so like no one can like. But still, like to meet someone again, like you said, just out of the bat, and then just try to do all that. That's a little wild, a little
Yeah.
risky.
So that happened, and she tied him up, and everything. He was having the time of his life. He was like, "Oh, I got this German shawty from Tinder or whatever else they use in Germany."
I am not Russia. I am
Yeah,
German. I am German.
they use woman, only woman. But so she tied him up, and then supposedly what the guy said is she got a phone call and she immediately left and just left him there. So he was just
Damn.
tied up on a tree, but he had clothes on, and he tried to get out, and supposedly she like tied him really well. So he was just screaming, but somebody heard his screams, and they found him and like they untied him. But like I think they're like looking for her now because she basically like even though it wasn't intentional or who knows what, she like left him to die basically. Because if nobody
Yeah.
found him, he could have starved or gotten eaten by wolves or something.
That's
I
what
don't
I'm
know.
saying, bro. I would be more scared of being eaten by an animal, like a random animal coming out of the sky. Like I wouldn't be
Imagine you
like.
had to stay overnight.
That's what I'm saying
You're
because you're
like,
in the
bro, I
forest.
gotta
You're
pee
in the forest, pitch black. Like that's pitch black. There's not a single
in
thing.
Germany.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it looks like in there, but
It's
like,
cold.
I mean, yeah, exactly. So I'm just like, bro, nah, bro. I'd be scared out of my life.
My thing is like, what do they call her about?
What was so important?
Yeah, like, it's just like I can't do a German accent,
True, yeah.
but like it's just like, oh yeah, like I got you tied up. She gonna do like, it's like, oh shit, that's today. She just left. It's like, ma'am,
Oh,
you forgot to pick up your kids at work again.
oh, shit.
Again? Give me 15. I'll be right there. And then she never hit him up again, I guess. Like,
I think there's just like the whole getting tied up and leaving him like that. Like maybe like you don't gotta like we walk out the woods together, but at least like loosen the ropes and I can go my own way. Like I don't gotta leave with you, but just like
yeah, like how long like I know you got a knife or something on you. Like I don't know what y'all was intended on doing right now, but I'm sure you got something that's just like, all right, oh shit, really? And then all right, I gotta go. Holla at
exactly.
you.
That's what I'm saying.
Figure this out.
Exactly.
Clean yourself up.
Nah, she was out here.
Yeah, bro, you're kind of acting a little weird right now. You got, I mean, obviously the Russian thing was in the U.S. It was in New York, but she was from Russia. But she had caught a body in Russia,
Exactly.
and then
Woman, only woman.
then we had the woman in Arkansas out here selling body parts. Why I gotta be cheese? Yo, I know she's never eating cheesecake again. Going back to that story, bro. Cheesecake Factory, never stepping foot.
The waiter's like, and we have an amazing cheesecake. What did you say?
Cheese, what? It's like in slow mo.
She starts sweating. It's
Do
like,
you have tiramisu?
is there
Anything else?
anything else that's not cheese based?
Yeah, bro, that shit was stressing me out. You met, bro, like, I don't know. You think about when people have like any sort of traumatic experience, like any of that type of that shit, like makes people fucking nervous. Like, imagine you like on
Yeah.
a plane crash, like the chance
Never
of you
get on a
doing that shit
plane
never again, or you get bit by like an animal or something, you might be a little skeptical and shit. Man, I'd be so mad if you ruined cheesecake for me, bro. You know how much I love cheesecake? I used to not like cheese, and now I love cheesecake.
Yeah, I didn't used
Sensational.
to I didn't used to love cheesecake either. I used to
But
thought
now,
I was like, bro, am I just eating cheese? Like I really thought that and it kind of disgusted me. So
yeah,
that's why I never liked eating it
it had like a
before.
strong cheese taste to me because he
Yeah,
told me cheesecake, but then you taste it, I'm like,
it
this
makes
is
it pretty good. But I
amazing.
literally thought that it was like to me when I thought about it, I was like, yo, I'm literally just eating like a big
Like
wheel of cheese
cheese.
and that disgusted me. Like I'm
Yeah.
like, nah, I'm not doing this, bro. Y'all crazy for eating this, John.
Cheesecake is so good.
Yeah, but now it's like I can't stop.
A homemade cheesecake or even like Cheesecake Factory cheesecake. You ever had like I had like a dulce de leche cheesecake.
I
Shit was
don't think I've
good.
ever had that flavor. No.
I had a randomly had a cheesecake from Outback and that shit was fire. And then they got rid of it. That was the first time where I was like, yo, like, cheesecake not so bad. But
Yeah, I don't remember when I changed my mind, but yeah, definitely, I'm glad I did.
they say your taste buds change like every 12 years. So like
Mm. So does it mean like it changes and it like allows you to want to eat more things,
I mean, it would just alter it in certain
or you
ways. So
just
like,
kind of?
you know how people say like, oh, like your appetite or your like palate will like mature.
Well, I ain't gonna lie, I can understand that because now there's certain candies I know that I like. I'm like,
Yeah.
nah, bro.
And think about shit like you would eat as a kid.
Like, I ain't gonna hold you. I really loved Peeps when I was a young boy.
Yeah.
That shit is the most disgusting thing I could probably think of.
Yeah, because when you're a kid, like, a lot of shit is, like, you just want the extreme, like, you know what I mean? Like, you want the sweetest shit you could possibly get your hands on, and it won't affect you or nothing, like,
Yeah.
now it's like, alright, like, even now if you were like, "Oh, like, I can still eat this," it's like, I can only eat so much where I'm just like, "Alright, this is OD, like, I need a bottle of water or something,"
It's
like
kinda like that with cake. Like, I remember when I was young, I used to eat maybe, like, 2 pieces, probably even 3. Then eventually, like, I guess it's because birthdays and celebrations happen so often. Cake is one of those things where it probably really soon you realize it's not that
yeah,
great. I don't think I've ever met anybody that when I'm at a party or a celebration, that somebody wants more than 1 piece of cake now.
bro,
I think
come to my family, bro. My family loves cake, bro, like, my
Really?
household loves cake. I do not. I will eat a slice just because I feel bad, because I don't
Yeah,
wanna
yeah,
be
yeah,
rude.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, "Just
True,
give me
true,
a
true,
slice,
true,
because if I
true.
say no, y'all gonna start complaining, and I
True,
don't wanna
true,
hear
true,
all
true.
that.
Makes sense, makes
So give
sense,
me a
makes
thin
sense.
slice and some ice cream, and then I'll you could say I had some, and that's it."
It's
My
fine.
family will eat multiple slices at the after singing happy birthday, and even if it's somebody like, if it's the other day, it was just my grandma's birthday. We ordered a cake, ate the cake, sang happy birthday, ate it, sang, cut it, whatever. Then we took like a big ass chunk of it home and they were just eating it like days after that. Like, bro, they love cake. My mom will bake cake and just have it and it won't last a day. And like donuts, fuck them up. All that shit. They buy 2 boxes of crisp. I'm not trying to come at them. They love it. I promise
Just
you I'm not.
imagine they
I
watch it.
I prom they not
They're just
watching.
like
They not watching. I love them to death, and, whatever, like, my parents,
yeah.
they don't drink,
It's
they don't
that's their
smoke.
guilty pleasure, you
Yeah,
know?
like, they don't drink, they don't smoke, they clean, they work, whatever, everybody has something,
Yeah, yeah,
so it's
yeah.
cool, but it'd just be amazing because 'cause my dad will, like, buy Krispy Kreme donuts for the house because there's a Krispy Kreme in Jersey,
Mhm.
come home with, like, 2 boxes and that shit or, like, a box and that shit I won't get 1, bro. And it's not to be and it's not I'm not saying that they don't save none, it's just that I don't eat like, I don't really eat donuts like that, like, I'll eat, like, a piece just to get a taste, but I'm not
Mhm.
bodying donuts like that.
They just leave the box there, and then you're like, "Oh, shit, Krispy Kreme," and you open it, there's a
Bro,
note that says, like,
do you know how
"Sorry."
many times that has happened, bro? With that or, like, Oreos, I'll go
Mhm.
open the thing of Oreos, it'll be 1 Oreo. I'm like, "Bro, just eat the Oreo. Don't leave an Oreo with this whole pack."
Yeah,
That shit
so
pissed me off.
so I ain't gonna lie, my mom is kinda similar with that with, bread. She loves bread. It's just her weakness. I don't know what it is about it,
No, bread's
but
fire.
bread is good, but it's just the
But is it just, like, plain white bread?
yeah,
Like, she just
well,
grabbing a thing of Stroman, or she's like, "Oh, like, I love a good brioche bun.
I mean, like,
I love a good, what's that bread called? Focaccia?"
focaccia bread? Is that
Yeah.
it? Yeah,
It's the one where you on the dough, you, like, poke your fingers in and you put olive oil
maybe, yeah,
on the
yeah.
dough.
But I mean, she just gets regular
A
from the
good rye
supermarket,
bread,
you know?
a
She likes
pumpernickel.
rye. She likes rye. But we usually just get like honey wheat because like that way we all have it. Because I hate rye. I think rye is the most disgusting bread I've ever eaten. She loves it. But yeah,
Cinnamon raisin,
I love cinnamon raisin too. I can eat that. But yeah, but for her, like bread is just a weakness. Like she just loves eating bread. She makes
bread and butter.
sandwiches. Yeah,
Like, what is her thing? Like, what's her
well, I mean, like, she uses it for a lot of stuff, either sandwiches and all that type of stuff, but, like, that's just her thing, like, she just likes eating a lot of it. So there just be times kinda, like, similar to you when you're saying, like, she'll go to the supermarket, she'll buy a loaf of bread, um, and I know she did, but again, I'm not someone who eats bread like that like crazy. I know I used to, and then I used to stop a lot too, but I'll see it. So then at some point during the week, I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna just make myself a sandwich. I go back and I go and look at the bread. That joint's half gone, bro. And it's only been like 4 days. I'm like, where did the bread go? And I look and she's like, she has no explanation. And I'm like,
You already know what happened, Mark. Let's not make this more awkward than it needs to be.
and I just get so mad because I'm like, bro, all I wanted was to have one sandwich. That was it. Like all I needed was 2 slices to make this thing happen, and I can't even do that now. And I'd be so mad. But that's just like the one thing too that's similar. I'm just like, bro, where did all the bread go, bro?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's, like, cocoa bread or, like, what the fuck is it called? But, like, bread from, like, El Coqui and shit, where it's, like, that big ass loaf and it's soft. You ever had that bread? Imma get
No.
her some for her birthday or Christmas.
My grandpa used to always get the one from the cousins, the freshly made ones in
Like
the
the French
bag.
bread? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we'll get random, but there's, like there's a different kind of bread. I forget what the fuck it's called, but it's like a PR bread that like a lot of us will eat, and we'll make sandwiches with.
Quentin wouldn't eat it.
Hmm?
So Quentin doesn't know about
He don't. He be in that
it.
old cookie though. He be talking about it a lot. But we out of time.
Wanna be.
Place wanna shut down. Chill. um, but yeah, we appreciate you guys so much for showing love. On the last podcast, Jerry Springer's podcast did pretty well actually.
That's great.
For Jerry, show love to Jerry.
Jerry.
Yeah, and yeah, 1,300 subs. We growing, we pushing, on our way to 2 grand, on our way to 1 million views. Appreciate all you guys. We're gonna try and switch some things up for the summer, for the year moving forward. Close out strong because it's already May. Kind of wild. We got some goals to hit. So we appreciate your time. We love you guys. We'll see you guys next week. Deuces.